ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here we are seeing explanation by Kapila Muni about the living entity's entanglement in this material world in various ways. In this verse we can see how a living entity forever he may be hours from understanding the Supreme Lord. And without understanding the Supreme Lord, he will continue his existence in this material world. He may try to understand the transcendence through various speculative ways, through various, like his senses. He has full confidence in himself, his senses, his mind, his intelligence, and he tries out in varieties of ways. And till the time he doesn't approach a bona fide spiritual master, or if he doesn't take shelter of the Vedic literatures, till then his speculations lead to his continued existence in this material world, because he cannot understand the Supreme Lord through none of these ways. So that's what we see here. Those who are averse to the transcendence realize the supreme absolute truth differently through speculative sense perception, and therefore because of mistaken speculation everything appears to them to be relative. We have heard of this story of 6 blind men trying to understand what an elephant is. So each of these 6 men who are blind, who can't see, but they want to know what an elephant is. So they are sent near an elephant. They go around, each of them touching different parts of the elephant's body. Elephant is a very huge animal, and these 6 people who are blind, they go touch different portions of the elephant and they come out with their own theories. Elephant is like this, elephant is like that, it is like a rope, it is like a pillar, it is like a wall. They come up with their own theories. None of them will be able to understand what actually an elephant is until and unless they approach a person who is not blind and who has seen an elephant. By his help, through his explanations, all of their various sense perception, understanding through their various sense perceptions can be matched. Yes, what you are feeling like a rope, it's actually the portion behind the elephant which is called as a tail. And this thing what you are feeling, just like a sphere, it is the front portion, it is the tusk of an elephant. Just like we have got teeth, likewise this explanation by a person who has actually seen the elephant, who can clear the doubts of those blind men. Only if these blind men take shelter, help of such a person, will they be able to understand what an elephant is. Otherwise, never they can. The Brahma Samhita says, Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo. Hundreds and thousands of years a person can go on in a speculative business, sitting on the mental chariot, going at the speed of wind or mind. Vayo rathapi manaso munipungavana. Still, they'll never be able to understand who the Supreme Lord is. So then how to understand who the Supreme Lord is? Prabhupada says in the purport, one can successfully attain pure knowledge of the Absolute only by hearing from the pure Absolute Himself. Again I repeat, it is only possible by hearing from the pure Absolute Himself. Any other way we try out, no, it is not possible. Anadi bahirmukha jiva Krishna bhuli gela ataeva Krishna Veda Purana karila. The living entity has forgotten the Supreme Lord having come to this material world. So in his forgetful condition, he is unnecessarily being he is undergoing botheration of varieties of miserable conditions in this material world. To help him re-establish in his original spiritual position, to get rid of the entanglement of this material world. Ataeva Krishna Veda Purana Karila. The Supreme Lord has given the Vedas and the different Puranas. Yet in another place in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Maya Mukta Jivera Nahi Swatah Krishna Jnana Jivera Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Purana. The conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort, but out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and it supplements the Puranas. So for the purpose of we living entities who on our own will never be able to understand the Supreme Lord. Because why are we unable to understand the Supreme Lord by ourselves? Because there is an energy of the Supreme Lord working, Maya Shakti, who is more powerful than we individual spirit souls. And under her clutches, under her influence, never will be able to understand Krishna as He is. In varieties of ways, we come up with some speculative ideas only. Avajahananti mam modha manushim prakriti manushim tanumashritaha. In varieties of ways, even after seeing Krishna also, Krishna is also like a human being. In varieties of ways, we can go on explaining. Another place it is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shastra Guru Atma Rupe Apanare Janana Krishna Mora Prabhu Trata Jivera Hayajnana. So it is said here, Krishna in three ways He comes for helping the conditioned soul. Shastra, Guru Atma Rupe. Through the Shastras, the Vedic literatures, through the Guru, the external spiritual master, and Atma, here referring to Paramatma, the super soul, Paramatma feature of the Lord. Shastra, Guru, and Atma Rupe, Apanare Janana. The Lord informs about Himself. He informs about Himself through the Shastras, through the spiritual master, and His manifestation as the Paramatma. What does He inform? Two main things He informs. Krishna Mora Prabhu, Krishna Mora Trata. Krishna is my master, He is my Prabhu, and He is my Trata, He is my deliverer. He is the one who can deliver me from this material existence. Krishna Mora Prabhu Trata Jivera Hayajnana. So this, He comes to inform the living entities that yes, I am your master and I am your deliverer. And how does He inform? Through the medium of the Vedic literatures, the spiritual master, and His own expansion as the Paramatma feature within every living entity's heart. So these are the ways Krishna explains Himself, and we need to take shelter, help of these things. Otherwise, on our own, whatever mental speculative ways, never will we be able to understand Krishna. Some more points let us see. There are various points and examples Srila Prabhupada gives in the purport. Few of them let us see. The Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead is one, and He is spread everywhere by His impersonal feature. This is clearly expressed in Bhagavad Gita. So we know the verse, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyaktam murtina. I am pervaded through my impersonal feature. Matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avastitah. Everything rests on me, but I am not in them. Again in the next verse, Krishna continues to say, Nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram. Nachamatstani bhutani. Yet, everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my opulence, pashyame yogamaishwaram, bhuta vrin nacha bhutasto, mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. I am bhuta vrit, meaning I am the maintainer, I am the sustainer. Bhuta vrin nacha bhuta vrin nacha bhutasto. But I am not situated, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. Mama Atma Bhuta Bhavanaha, the entire cosmic manifestation is an emanation from me. This is how Krishna explains. So the way Krishna is explaining here, we need to understand that yes, Krishna, everything, entire cosmic manifestation is an emanation from Krishna. Everything is resting upon Him. It is resting upon him means it's not that, with great difficulties, lifting up and holding. No, nothing. His energies are acting. Though the entire material creation is resting upon Him, He is separately situated in His own personal abode, engaged in His varieties of pastimes, activities with all of His loving associates. So all these descriptions we find in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Brahma Samhita, other Vedic literatures. So we need to understand Krishna in this way. And Prabhupada continues to say, sense perceptions such as oral perception of the sound of a drum. So we beat a drum just like the mridanga. So there is the sound which is emanated. And how do we perceive that sound? Through the medium of ears. And then visual perception of a beautiful woman, or the perception of the delicious taste of a milk preparation by the tongue, all come through different senses and are therefore differently understood. We see many beautiful things through our eyes. We taste very tasty things, nice milk preparations through our tongue, and we perceive. So all these varieties are there, and they are understood in varieties of categories. But there are one section of the spiritualists who are known as Mayavadis, who say all these varieties are false. Only one thing exists, Brahman Satya Jagan Mithya. But Prabhupada says, Vaishnava philosophers accept all of them as non-different from the personality of Godhead, because they are a display of His diverse energies. The Supreme Lord is reality, and His energies are also a reality. And His energies are manifest in varieties of ways. And all these varieties are not false, because they are an emanation from the Supreme Lord Himself. The Supreme Lord, He is absolute truth. His energies are also absolute. It is manifest in some temporary forms, but the energy itself is not false. So when we hear this Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, here in the purport, Prabhupada gives another example of the oyster shell. We have heard of gold. It glitters. There is shining in gold. A person may go dive deep inside the water. There are oyster shells. And that shell also appears shining, some little golden color. But actually it is not gold. He may go on searching in deep within the water for gold, and so many oyster shells he sees in which appears like gold, but actually it is not gold. And he may come to the conclusion that gold doesn't exist. There is no gold at all. But actually he is wrong. He has gone for searching for gold deep within water. There he won't get gold. Gold will be available in some other gold mines. So just by diving deep inside the water and looking at things which may appear like gold, but actually it is not gold, and in that pursuit he may go on for days and months and years together, and finally he'll never be able to get. If he comes to the conclusion that gold doesn't exist, he is wrong. His understanding is wrong. If at all you want pure gold, true gold, there is another place to search for it, another methodology to search for it. So, this is one example which Prabhupada gives. Likewise, and giving this example, Prabhupada says how, similarly, by seeing the form of Lord Krishna, one cannot understand what He actually is. See, even by looking at Krishna, you cannot understand, you cannot know who Krishna is. This practically we have seen how 5,000 years back, when Lord Krishna made His appearance in this material world, He stayed here for around 125 years. Various pastimes He enacted. So many people saw Him. But how many among them actually understood who He is? Very few. Only a handful of them. Many others, like Kamsa or Jarasandha, Duryodhana, they never understood Krishna as He is. They never understood Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, full of 6 opulences. No. different people perceived him in different ways. So even just by seeing Lord Krishna, you cannot understand Krishna. So, but this does not mean that he is false. We can't come to the conclusion that he is false. The form of Krishna has to be understood as it is described in the books of knowledge, such as Brahma Samhita, wherein it is said, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. So this is how we need to understand Krishna, through the Brahma Samhita, through the Bhagavad Gita, through the Bhagavatam. Otherwise, even after looking at Krishna, we may say even he is like a common man, maybe some extra powers he has got, he is some big yogi. In varieties of ways, big speculators describe Krishna, but all those things are false. If at all we want to understand Krishna, we have to understand Krishna by reading authorized texts, the Vedic literatures. Otherwise, we can never understand Krishna. In the early days of ISKCON, many devotees, like say, it was started in New York, in a rented place, in that Matchless Gift Center. Likewise, devotees went to some other places. One devotee went to San Francisco, then Los Angeles, and one devotee was sent to Montreal. Likewise, various branches were opened. So all of these were happening in rented places only. Somehow, in New York, Prabhupada, devotees, they were trying to get one place of their own, but somehow they had contacted some person who was a cheater almost, who wanted to make money. He thought these people, devotees, they don't know about much of transaction, business, all these things. So somehow he was cheating them and delaying their things, and little money was also lost. So all of these things were happening, and Prabhupada told to leave all these things. And Prabhupada was simultaneously trying for, like from India also, he had got one sponsor, Padampat Singhania, a very rich man, and he had agreed to sponsor one big temple in America. But somehow, because of the Indian government secular whatever stance, the Indian money was not allowed to go outside the country for other purposes. There was a lot of difficulty. And Prabhupada told, okay, leave all these things, let us continue in rented places, let us go ahead with making devotees, printing books and distributing them. Somehow in San Francisco, they got some donors, a lot of money was there available, and some devotees were trying to get a place of their own. So when Prabhupada got the news about this, Srila Prabhupada, he writes a letter to that devotee, Mukunda. It is very good idea to build a nice temple for Krishna. Apply all energy for Krishna. How one is successful in his work is tested by whether or not Krishna is satisfied. So Prabhupada in his own way, varieties of ways was encouraging, yes, go ahead with this idea. People, they build houses for their own, big mansions they build. Why not one place for Krishna? Why not one mansion, one house, one palace for Krishna? In this way Prabhupada was encouraging, and it's a good idea that yes, we should build a temple for Krishna, apply all of our energies for Krishna and see that Krishna is satisfied. The impersonalists, they cannot enjoy this bliss of how to satisfy Krishna. In the endeavor of maybe temple construction of varieties of ways to satisfy Krishna, there may be hardships involved, a lot of problems will be there, a lot of oppositions will be there, and stress may be there. All of these things may be there, but the result is being offered to Krishna. This gives a devotee great satisfaction. happiness. He sees Krishna is satisfied, and Krishna's satisfaction gives satisfaction to himself. So this kind of satisfaction can never be achieved by the impersonalists. The impersonalists cannot enjoy the bliss of how to satisfy Krishna. They make Krishna dead, so they will remain dead, never to understand Krishna. They cannot understand Krishna. So the impersonalists, they say Krishna is dead, Krishna is gone, and their own ways they explain about Krishna. So they say Krishna is dead, so they also remain dead only. They cannot understand Krishna, they cannot get the satisfaction, they cannot get the happiness by looking at Krishna happy, looking at Krishna being satisfied. But a devotee, he satisfies Krishna, and in turn he becomes satisfied. He gives happiness to Krishna, in turn he becomes happy. In varieties of ways he tries to make Krishna blissful, in turn he becomes blissful and happy. So this is a life of a devotee. And in his endeavor, he never speculates. He doesn't take shelter of his limited sense perception. All he knows, all of his senses are limited. The four defects are there: pramada, bhrama, vipralipsa, karana, patava. Senses are limited. We have got cheating propensity, and we come under illusion. We are sure to commit mistakes. With all of these limitations, with all of these conditionings, by my own effort, my own sense perception, my own mental speculation, I can never understand Krishna. But Krishna has made some means to understand about himself. It is through the medium of the Vedic literatures, it is through the medium of the spiritual master, and by surrendering to Krishna himself, who is seated as Paramatma within. By taking shelter of them, we can understand him. So devotee takes shelter of these things, and he understands Krishna, that yes, Krishna is my eternal master. Is that? Krishna Mora Prabhu, Krishna Mora Trata. Krishna is my eternal master, and Krishna, it's only Krishna who can give relief to me from this material conditioning. Nobody else can. See, varieties of things we come up with. There are some problems in this material world, this problem is there, that problem is there, hundreds of problems may be there, and some stopgap solutions we try to give for them. But if at all we want wholesale, permanent solution for all kinds of problems, it's only possible through the help of Krishna. It is only He who can completely give us relief from the entanglement of Maya. So likewise, various other examples Srila Prabhupada gives. Another last one more example of the sun and cloud. The sun is there, very illuminating, sun rays are there, but through the energy of the sun, that is heat, water is evaporated and forms as a cloud. And through that cloud, the sun itself appears to be covered. Will not be able to see the sun clearly because of the cloud in between. That doesn't mean that the cloud has completely covered the sun. No, it's only our vision which is covered. So, through all the processes, practices of Krishna consciousness, we are trying to revive our original consciousness. Our consciousness is covered like the cloud now, because of which we are unable to see Krishna, we are unable to understand Krishna. But taking shelter of the instructions given in the Vedic literatures and the instructions given by the spiritual master, the sadhana process, we are trying to uncover the dust, uncover the covering which is obstructing us from seeing Krishna. So once this happens, Once a living entity is completely purified, then this cloud of Maya no longer exists for him. He will be able to see Krishna as he is. So we'll end with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.